First of all, I thought we was gonna get through a whole episode without even mentioning Florida State when it comes to college football, which is totally a miracle if you're able to do that.
On today's Odd Coaches podcast, Dr. Adams and Coach Francis discuss Week 3 of the college football season, as well as providing predictions for Week 4. Welcome to today's show. Dr. Keith Adams is the president of the Ncaa Save Project, a nonprofit organization designed to assist student athletes and the people who work with them through educational and professional development. He is a career academic and athletic leader with close to 30 years of experience on the high school and college levels. He has won numerous championships and epitomizes professionalism. Coach Mike Franchise Francis is one of the most successful football and basketball coaches in the state of Maryland. He too is a career academic and athletic leader with close to 30 years of experience on the high school and college level and is self-admittedly a little rough around the edges. Both men have mentored countless student athletes, teachers, and coaches using their unique methods and approaches to leadership. Both men also share a unique and special friendship that was cultivated often through their unique perspective of life and leadership. Dr. Adams through his extensive educational background and Coach Francis through his life experiences. Can these two men share a podcast without driving each other crazy? Welcome to the Odd Coaches podcast.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches podcast. My name is Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is the rock to my sting in the Blade Runners, the icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, how are you doing this fine day, sir, as we are live and on video, my friend?
Now that I'm off mute, I'm doing even better. I tell you, I won an award at the school. They gave me a certificate for most likely to be on mute doing Google Meets.
I love it. I hate Google Meet, by the way. It's terrible. You can't control anything with Google Meets.
No.
But I had to go rock and sting with the Blade Runners because they didn't know what they had at Mid-South, but they knew they had something. And both guys ended up at the pinnacle of the wrestling industry. Both took different paths.
Yes.
If you've seen Dark Side of the Ring, that's quite a different path Mr. Hellwig took. But we are live now. We will film our shows again. Shout out to super producer Kelly. Behind me, fans, you'll get to see my reason outside of my baby boy. I get to look at my lovely wife that was taken at our wedding in Myrtle Beach. And as you can see, Coach Francis has a better setup than I do because he's not in the living room killing up space. He's in a nice office space. Want to talk about your background, sir, so the fans know what we got going on?
Yeah, my son, he gave me for Christmas. This was his jersey he wore against the Dallas Cowboys on there when he was playing with the Washington football team. And I'm a Cowboys fan, so it's the actual jersey, and there's pictures surrounding, the plays he made. I think he had like 5 tackles that game, 5 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. So I have a picture of each one and that jersey. So it hangs on my what we call my office here in the basement.
Yes, indeed. So you see, I got the wedding picture. And Coach Francis has the great football stories, and that's why we're odd. So segment 1, this is our college football wrap-up, or as we like to call it, our Thursday throwdown. Week 3 was something, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts. So fans, so you'll know, although Coach Francis and I chit-chat throughout the days, throughout the weeks, we never really know what's on the other's mind until we get to the show.
Yes.
So I, just like you, I'm hanging on the edge of my seat. So Coach, what's on your mind for the first segment? Initial thoughts on week 3 college football.
Initial thoughts on week 3, man. We talked about Arizona being in trouble for BYU. We saw that come to a head. Michigan State, Northern Michigan being ranked 25th. I'm still worried about that. West Virginia over Virginia Tech. And I'm with Cincinnati might be real. Cincinnati might be real.
Yes, indeed. So my initial thoughts starts off with Alabama. And something that my high school coach said, the late great Hank Galata, he used to say that we were the game of the year on everybody's schedule,
Hmm.
and it didn't make sense to me as a player. As a coach, he used to say, we're the game of the year on everybody's schedule. And as an assistant, you're still not really understanding. But I had the opportunity for 3 seasons to be the head coach at Springbrook High School, which has a just a storied history in Maryland sports. And we were the game of the year on everybody's schedule, and everyone brings their best. So the bet of the year every year is Alabama in the points in the first half. And yes, again, for those strictly for entertainment purposes, Alabama did cover the first half, but man, Florida, the swamp, all of the this and the that,
Swamp,
and
baby.
they had a ball game.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, just like in territory wrestling, when the traveling champ used to come, the local hometown hero was going for the belt and he's beating the guy up. And just as you think the hero's going to win, small package, cheat to hold the ropes, 1, 2, 3, Alabama escapes with the victory.
They pull them
And
tights,
man,
man.
they
They
hold those tights and they got the win. So, can you give me your thoughts on Alabama right now? That's what
definitely.
champs do.
Yeah, Alabama came through. I thought it was going to be a bigger blowout than what it was, and from looking at the first half, I was like, "Whoa, like this really getting out of there." But I tell you, Florida really impressed me. The kid, the Jones kid, quarterback, looked good, looked real good. Alabama, I think they got a little tired, maybe. And
It was
th-
hot down there. Now it
they're
was.
going to have to do a better job running the football if they're going to win the national championship. I'll just put it that way. I don't think they ran the ball as well as they needed to. Yeah, so that concerns me right now. I still got them number one, but it still concerns me that running game.
And coach, I got to tell you that Oklahoma was unimpressive. That was my second big thought of the week. Oklahoma was extremely unimpressive against Nebraska, as I have made jokes about Nebraska all year. Took Illinois the first week, strictly for entertainment purposes only, and they have still not impressed me. But that's an old rivalry, old Big Eight. Coach Switzer and Tom Osborne. Any thoughts on Oklahoma
Okay, I
being
never,
very unimpressive?
well, I never had them in my top five anyway. So I'll be honest with you. I just overlooked them. There was, they're one of the schools that had to get to me, just didn't belong there from the start.
And the last initial thought for this opening segment, Oregon is trying to hang around the national conversation. They are trying to keep me interested. Now they beat Ohio State, and again, I on the last episode said I'm sorry, and I actually meant it. Um, but they got another big win over a team they're supposed to beat,
Yes,
and they're doing the job that they're supposed to do. As Tom Dickman would say, shout out TD, we're
hanging
just
around.
hanging around. Man, any thoughts about Oregon and them hanging around,
I
baby?
think yes. I told you before. I love their speed. I love their offense. And as when we get to our top fives at the end of this episode, you'll see where I put Oregon.
All right, well, we'll be right back after this short break.
The vision of the CKA SAVE project is to use the combination of academics and athletics as a catalyst to lifelong success. Thus, the CKA SAVE project works to improve student-athlete academic and athletic performance by assisting student-athletes with transitional and transferable skills such as time management and organizational skills, along with the ability to self-advocate to help improve performance. However, we cannot do our work without the help of supporters like you. Consider donating to the CKA SAVE project. We accept tax-deductible contributions in a number of ways, including Venmo and Cash App at CKA SAVE project, or directly at the main page of our website, www.ckasaveproject.org. Simply click the donate button. We thank you in advance for your continued support.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In this segment, we're going to talk about our second tier stories. And our second tier stories are just things that kind of, made us think a little bit, made us pause, what have you. So, Coach, what else is on your mind from week 3 of college football?
Oh, Pittsburgh. You can't lose to Western Michigan. I'm sorry. And I had them
Whoa,
winning.
I didn't even check that. Pittsburgh
Oh
lost to
my God.
Western Michigan.
Yes, sir. Pittsburgh lost to Western Michigan. You can't lose to Western Michigan. I'm sorry. Um, Florida has arrived on the national scale. I don't care what nobody else says, even with a loss. And Clemson struggled with Georgia Tech. Those three things right there stick with me right now. So
All right. Well, perfect segue. My first thing is another bad week for the ACC. Louisville pulls it out on the last play against a group of five school.
yeah,
Clemson struggles. I mean, really struggles. And I asked you last week,
yeah.
is it something in the water that doesn't compute? Prince reference, but something's bothering me about Clemson. So you'll see, as you teased in the last segment, how I feel about Clemson. Virginia Tech lost to the Big 12. Yo, man, Virginia Tech, good friend of mine, Stacy Smith, big time Virginia Tech person. So I keep Virginia Tech in the rear view. I keep them to the side, but they lost to the Big 12.
Yes.
And I'm just going to just say Florida State and leave it at that. I don't know if by the time we have this episode air, not that we're wishing this on anybody, because I've been dead man walking, if he's going to have a gig, because you can't do this. I don't know who you can beat, but I know who you can't lose to.
Exactly.
And can you help me out with the ACC, man? Talk to.
First of all, I thought we was gonna get through a whole episode without even mentioning Florida State when it comes to college football, which is totally a miracle if you're able to do that. But 0-3, man. Oh my gosh. Woo.
And the losses are bad, man.
Yes.
Oh.
There's no way he makes it past this season. I mean, I don't know if they make a move, but you can't do that. Not at all. And you said the remark before. You go back and listen to about the ACC and how the brand of football has really declined, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. And Florida State in last place.
Wow. So the second thing on my mind with the second tier thoughts are, we are finally back to normal in the Pac-12. Thank you. It only took a couple of weeks, but UCLA lost to Fresno State, so I never have to talk about Chip Kelly again. Herm lost, more on that in our last segment. Colorado got shut out by Minnesota.
Minnesota,
is that the boat rowing guy? Is that the row the boat guy or whatever? And Northern Arizona beat Arizona. Man, what are we doing? Talk to me about the Pac-12, possibly outside of Oregon, for the last time this season.
I'm gonna tell you right now. We already had this conversation about football on the West Coast. So when we talked about UCLA, I was like, oh, okay, that was good week one. But yeah, I'm lost because I can't see no one in the conference outside of Oregon even being in the picture nationally for the rest of the year. Not with these losses. You can't lose to teams they're losing to and expect to be in the national picture. It's just not going to happen.
And Oregon better not lose to any of these. They better run the table.
Yeah, because
one loss,
they're done.
And welcome Cincinnati.
Exactly.
and the final thing that's on my mind, and these are four teams that I'm thinking about. One is Coastal Carolina. In our preview editions with the group of five, I told you to keep an eye on Coastal Carolina. Again, I'm keeping an eye on them strictly for entertainment purposes only. But Coastal's doing some stuff, so I got my eye on Coastal. Arkansas, man, quietly, they're doing some stuff that I'm keeping my eye on. Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, I got my eye on you. And you're going to see a trend with the SEC. My boy, my tag team partner, Mike Francis, got me thinking about Kentucky, and it ain't got nothing to do with 8 pounds of air. It's got something to do with football. So yes. These are teams I'm peeking at. And I got my notebook, and I'm watching. Yes. Coach, is there anybody you're keeping an eye on? Again, strictly for entertainment purposes only.
Well, I'm doing the research. I looked and saw five SEC teams that's in there right now, top 25 moving up, and it looks good. Keep an eye on. I'm going to keep an eye on individual player First and foremost, that's one thing I've been looking at. The Demas kid at Maryland is leading the country in receiving.
Mm,
Um,
mm, mm.
yeah, you got again the 5 teams in the top 20 from from the SEC. I'm gonna keep my eye on that. I'm also gonna keep my eye on the kid Dotson from Penn State. I think he's very dynamic. Like he's able to get that ball. He's tough when he gets the ball. He actually threw a pass yesterday, completed a pass. They did the double pass, and I'll talk about Penn State and some of the things they did a little later. They kind of
And
threw me
so
off.
will I.
Yes.
And so will I. We are. And on that note, we'll be right back after this short break.
Dr. Keith Adams, president of the Ncaa Save Project, is releasing a book this fall called Finding the Balance: My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. The goal of this book is to give greater insight into student-athlete motivation to improve student-athlete academic and athletic success through the lens of Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic journey, from being an underperforming student-athlete to an academic and athletic leader. This book is also designed to be a guide for student-athletes, parents, teachers, coaches, administrators, and anyone else who has a passion to help student-athletes succeed academically and athletically. You can pre-order your copy of the book directly from our website at www.ncaasaveproject.org. This book is scheduled for release in the fall of 2021.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In this final segment, we're going to do predictions for week 4. And we're going to start off with our OCP top 5. This is Dr. Adams, and then we'll allow Coach Francis to chop me up. So we've got Alabama as number 1. Again, they showed in the first half, we're really better than Florida. Florida gave a gallant effort, similar to when Mike Von Erich went after the big title, and then, we're out of here. Sam Houston used to fight. Arn Anderson, spine buster, gourd buster, done. But it was a heck of a fight. 2 is Georgia. 3 is Oregon is 3. I'm going to go all in with this one Pac-12 team. So when they do lose, I can say, hey, I gave them a shot, and you blew it. 4 is Oklahoma. Man, Spencer didn't look like a Heisman Trophy winner to me. And 5, sit down for this. I'm pushing it to the table. Iowa is number 5. I've got on the outside looking in Clemson. I'm not impressed. Cincinnati, I actually want to put them in, but I agree with you. There's just a little too far out of the national talk yet. But if they beat Notre Dame, they'll be in. And Texas A&M, but you'll find out that Texas A&M, in my opinion, will be out sooner than they're in. What are you thinking, sir?
Ooh, wait. I'm going to shock you with this one after this
All
week's
right.
things I saw, but I agree with you. Bama's definitely number 1. There's a little shake up between number 2 and number 3. I'm going to say Oregon number 2 and Georgia number 3.
You're
All right?
bored.
I'm going to go with Oregon number 2, Georgia number 3, simply because Georgia struggled. You can't do that. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. You can't. Cincy 4, Clemson 5, UCLA, you're out. You got to go.
Got to go. We don't have to talk
Oklahoma,
about Chip ever.
Oklahoma got to go. Like, that's it. So that's your franchise 5: Bama, Oregon, Georgia, Cincy, and Clemson.
And merch coming soon with franchise 5, and OCP merch is coming soon. I'm going to let him do that. So now, strictly for entertainment purposes only, I want to recap last week's BCA 4-pack. The doctor went 3-1. Paper.
Yes,
Of course,
sir.
I'm only betting 10 a game, and my wife gives me the side eye. Says, yeah, you won $19. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, strictly for entertainment purposes only. Maryland over Illinois last week.
Yes.
Michigan State over Miami. Penn State, and I even told you on the air, I'm just doing it because I like James. I didn't think they were going to beat them. Yay, they did it. And then Herm Edwards at Arizona State losing to BYU. So that's why I went 3-1. But my season record thus far is 6-6. I'm 50% with a 53% goal. So we're going the right way, Coach.
Yeah.
So our games of the week this week that I am keeping an eye on. Again, we just do a money line bet because of when we tape. And I'm looking at it and I'm calling this week the mid-card title foreplay. Notre Dame over Wisconsin, and that's kind of like a U.S. title matchup. Neither one of them are the national championship, but they're not, at the bottom of the card. They're not popcorn matches. They're going to be pretty high up on the card. I've got Arkansas over Texas A&M. Again, that's kind of an intercontinental type match where, again, you're not a curtain jerker, but that's not the main event. And I just like Arkansas. Texas A&M's got a quarterback issue. Let's go and see what happens. And again, it's $10 is what my wife says with the side eye. I've got Oklahoma over West Virginia. That's kind of like a TNT title, AEW Rampage Friday night show, as opposed to Dynamite. Again, Oklahoma should be better after last week's disappointing, performance, and West Virginia getting a good upset. It's kind of time for Oklahoma to flex a little bit. And strictly to bug my friend here, my tag team partner, for the TV title, I've got Michigan over Rutgers. Okay, because Jim Harbaugh is ranked 25. By the time this airs, it's going to be ranked higher. Get that win over Rutgers. Maybe they get top 15 and get everybody talking about them just to have the rug pulled out from them. That's kind of how I'm looking at. Coach, what do you got as a game of the week or anything going on with that?
Oh, Michigan Rutgers. You really went out on a limb on that one, didn't you? You're really taking a risk. Michigan and Rutgers. Woo, okay.
They better not lose.
I'm gonna be watching that UCLA Stanford game just because the simple fact is UCLA Stanford. You can kind of throw records.
Oh, out. I'm on the air now. You know the applesauce. Oops.
I'm gonna. And after watching the first several weeks, I think Wisconsin beats Notre Dame. I do. From seeing them play, I really do. Wisconsin's going to get the upset. I mean, the rankings the way they are. And if somebody don't hurry up and change these rankings and get Miami out of the top 25, I don't know.
I don't think you'll have to worry about that, sir.
Oh,
I think that will be taken care of.
That's crazy. I'm going to watch that. I'm not going to – Georgia Vanderbilt doesn't really impress me, but I got to watch Tennessee, Florida for the simple fact, will Florida have a letdown? As well as they played against Alabama, will they say, all right, well, we're at that level now. So they come out and they coast in Tennessee, and they could be in trouble.
Where are they playing that game?
At Florida, in the swamp.
Okay.
Yeah, in the swamp.
Mental note. So look at that. Maybe Wednesday. I'll check that out strictly for entertainment purposes. You've made a good point. I wonder what the spread will be.
We gotta check that one. Keep your eye on that one.
Yeah, I will keep an eye on that one. Any final thoughts as we close out this episode, sir?
Don't sleep on Iowa. They're growing on me. You know what I mean? Really, really look good. And Penn State, man, they did some stuff last night with some formations that blew my mind. They had the right tackle all the way out at the hash and fake the bubble screen and pop pass to the tight end who was lined up as the tackle on the left side. Like it was very innovative to see that. It was fun to watch. And I know I was fooled, so I'm sure that Auburn was fooled too. But that's about it.
And my final thought, go Maryland.
Yes.
Mike Loxley, you keep winning, sir. And maybe we can sneak you in the top 25. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. And you can see our pretty faces and our pretty $1 million smile, as the American dream used to say. And we'll see you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
Salute.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. You can follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.